we've got a new fun segment. Our South Chicago chef, Nick Farr, who has been on Guys Groceries games multiple times and is a two-time winner. He's a long-suffering Chicago sports fan. So we're really excited for this segment where we're bringing food. And we're not talking like cheap bar food or any of that silly stuff trying to teach you how to warm up your mom's pizza rolls. We're
Yeah.
talking like some good shit. And I think you guys are going to love Nick's first segment and what he's bringing for us from his kitchen out in Arizona. So, Nick, welcome, and show's yours, buddy.
All right, our first dish on the fan base is going to be what I call hungover sliders. You committed to have something at the tailgate, but you got fucked up the night before and didn't go get the ingredients. This is what you could go get on Sunday morning before the game starts and make sure that everyone knows that you prepared for the tailgate. Welcome to Chicago beef sliders. All right, super simple to get you started. I just bought this little Castlewood roast beef, but what I did was opened it up and chopped it into small pieces. That plays way better on a slider, and all you gotta do is throw this into a pot. You can get messy with it. Make sure that you got your handy dandy board scrape on the side. Once you get the beef in there, just throw a little bit of beef broth in there. I'm gonna say you don't wanna cover it the entire way. You want it to come about halfway up the beef that's in there, and then throw your little bit of Italian seasonings in there. Now get this on to the stove and then just simmer it for about 10 to 15 minutes. You want to do this at home before you get to the tailgate so you can wrap this up in your Tupperware or whatever you got so that when you get to the tailgate, you can throw it on the slider. Let's go get it on the stove. While your beef's getting hot and your buns are toasting, get your caramelized onions. You could do raw as well if you want. Get your giardiniera mix. Giardiniera is a Chicago term. If you don't like giardiniera, jalapeños, banana peppers, whatever you want. But then make your little butter, Parmesan, and garlic compound to go on top. Once that beef gets hot, we're gonna throw them on. All right, super simple. We got our heated up roast beef right here. We have our Parmesan butter. We have our pickled veg, giardiniera, and then we have our caramelized onions. We got our toasted buns. Super simple. Watch this. All you got to do, make sure you just kind of like leave a little sauce on there because you got the beef broth in there. Like leave a little bit because we want them to be a little bit moist. I know people hate that word, but we want that to have a little bit of flavor left on there. Now, we want to take, I got my gloves on so that we go with our caramelized onions on the top like this. If you don't like caramelized onions, you can do raw onions. If you don't want onions at all, no big deal. So we got our caramelized onions on there like that. And then we got our house-made giardiniera. Again, buy this in a jar. If you're hungover, go to your local grocery store and just go, where's the giardiniera? They're gonna point you to it. Every grocery store has a little bit of something on there. And then we're gonna go with our white American. Yes, you can go with provolone. Provolone doesn't melt as well as the white American. I like the white American. Let's rip this one a little bit like this. Put that like that. There we go. And then we put our tops on like this. See, I already toasted those buns a little bit, but now this is where the finisher comes in. Some of this garlic Parmesan butter that goes in. So you might be asking yourself, what happens at a tailgate for this? A lot of Blackstones are at that tailgate now. You got flat tops at that tailgate. You could make this beef mixture. You could put it in your Tupperware overnight. You're drunk on Saturday night, you could make that. You could make these things on Saturday night, put them all in your Tupperware, build those sliders right when you get to the park. You're done in 10 to 15 minutes. Let's get these broiled up, and then let me show you what the end looks like. All right, and here we go. See, now you could put these to go. All you gotta do is warm them up on that Blackstone. You just gotta see how you kind of pull them apart. Oh, you got the cheese, you got the beef, you got the homemade giardiniera. The garlic Parmesan on top Hell, it doesn't even matter if you're tailgating or not. Make these for the family this weekend while you're waiting to go to the Super Bowl next weekend. These are, I'm going to call it fake Italian beef Chicago sliders because we cut all the corners, but they sure are delicious. See you next week, fan base.
Dude, those look delicious. Dude, those things look so good. Was that garandari? What is that? What is that stuff? It's like the little
Giardiniera.
pepper relish stuff.
Oh yeah, giardiniera is a really good topping. You put on like all sorts of variety of sandwiches and whatnot. It's a staple in Chicago, and
Some people love it, some people hate it. I think it just depends. I would probably put jalapeños on mine. Probably not put the giardiniera stuff on top of that. But dude, he was making that Parmesan garlic butter on the top of it. With those, dude, that thing looks so good. You know what I love the most? That refrigerator Perry jersey he had on. That
that
is
was cool.
sweet. That is sweet. So I was telling him that the my very first favorite team when I was a youngster, man, was watching those Chicago Bears, man. Walter Payton, I loved watching Walter Payton, because he was before Barry Sanders. Watching Walter Payton doing his things that he would do, and I was like, oh my goodness, this dude is spectacular. And I will say this, the Bears won that Super Bowl in 1985, well, actually in January 1986, and it was 46-10 over the Patriots. And Refrigerator Perry got that touchdown. And I wish Walter Payton would have got that thing because he didn't get a touchdown in a Super Bowl. And I think if anybody of any time ever deserved a Super Bowl tutty, would have been Walter Payton. Sweetness. So, dude, that was great. We're glad to have you on here, buddy. Nick, that was nice. I'm looking forward to future recipes.